Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a special meeting of the Town of Rockland Board of Commissioners. This is Monday, March 31st, 2025. The time is now 6 p.m. This meeting is being recorded for playback. Sorry, just want to make sure that I said that right. We do have a quorum. I will call tonight's meeting to order with myself and Mr. Ryan present. We'll move right into the agenda, and we have an OPM discussion. I will really jump into this if it's okay with everyone. So as we mentioned, as we mentioned at the board meeting last week, the OPM review team met a week and a half ago to review the 4 proposals that were submitted for the OPM RFQ. Like we heard, as I just mentioned, from 4 firms: DPC. We heard from Weston and Sampson. We heard from another firm, Answer, and we heard from another firm in another firm, PMA Consultants. The rankings, which out of we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on the review team to go through initially, and the rankings were as follows: DPC had an aggregate score of 31.4. Weston and Sampson had an aggregate score of 32.1. Answer had an aggregate score of 19.8, and PMA had an aggregate score of 21.8. So with these rankings, we obviously have our 2 highly ranked, very competitive firms, like Weston and Sampson, DPC, and what our initial review team is recommending is that the sewer board vote to actually have both Weston and Sampson, and DPC, come in to interview before the board, at the next meeting at the end of April, and we do have proposed interview with questions as well that we want to send out in advance to the 2 firms, the DPC and Weston and Sampson, just so they have the ability to come to the interview. Very well prepared. To answer questions we have about them. Answer any questions what we have, and about how their firms will help us approach our project, the design, and so forth. And I especially want to thank Courtney Beauregard, who's our assistant town administrator, who went through, put the memo together. Based on our initial review, feedback really propose initial draft questions for the board as well. But happy to amend anything, add anything. We really want to make sure we have very strong and adequate input by the board as well. So we kick this whole project off for the OPM in a very strong way. Thoughts, questions, Megan, you were part of the review team as well. Anything I missed, anything you wanted to add?
No, you actually said it quite well. So.
Mike, I agree. Everything you said extremely well. This looks very thorough and very accurate. Are we looking for a motion to bring those to win?
Yes, DPC and Weston and Sampson. I think we were talking about bringing them in, just for everyone's edification, to the sewer meeting on Monday, April 28th, I believe, is when we were targeting for. And this will give them a good, really 4 weeks. At this point, to prepare based on You know, what the proposed questions are. What I would also ask and recommend is, that we vote, is that in addition to voting to bring in DPC and Weston Sampson, we vote, to approve the proposed questions as well. Just again, so we have everything that was proposed, to us in the memo, from the assistant town administrator, just so we have approval on everything proposed at this point. But again, I can just for the public certification, the proposed interview questions will focus on local expertise and local government knowledge. They will focus on budget management. They will focus on infrastructure assessment, environmental compliance, collaboration with the plant operator, client prioritization and responsiveness, community engagement, which is a huge piece of where we are and what we need to continue to do as a board and as a department. Cost savings for the project, collaboration with a designer, and wastewater treatment plant are considerations, because obviously we know this is just like a piece of a larger, broader project as well.
I will make a motion to invite DPC and Weston and Sampson to our next meeting and approve, and also to set these questions out to them in advance.
And with that, there's a motion on the table. I will step down and second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's a vote. Thank you. Moving right along, we have.
Can we slow down for 1
Oh,
second?
sorry.
Motion to invite DCP and Weston and Sampson to our next meeting and to provide them with interview questions beforehand.
Correct.
Yeah, and to approve other questions and provide them in advance or beforehand. Yes.
Correct. No, absolutely. Correct.
Oh, so wait a minute. Was there built-in an approval of the questions?
Yes.
Okay.
And we can re-vote if that's needed, but I think that was the intent.
It was the intent.
Okay.
I agree with the questions.
And it was Matt, and then second by Mike.
Correct.
I didn't second it though. I'm just kidding. Sorry, there's only two of us here. Just wanted to throw you off a little bit.
I don't think that's allowed.
Sorry, Robin. Okay. Next item on the agenda is an FY26 rate discussion.
Oh,
Robin, I'll turn this
okay.
over
Yeah.
to you.
Did I hand these out yet?
No, I don't have them.
So David and I, we had a little discussion about
Thank
the rates, and Weston and Sampson had done the original rate study. They're still involved with us, and they factored in a lot of the plant upgrades and things that we needed, and built us a 15-year proposal on rate increases to the consumption for the
Mhm.
end user. So most recently, it came to our attention that sometime last year, it was a 10 to 12 range that Weston and Sampson was proposing, but we had been just putting it out there for 10%. Well, last year they wanted us to go with 11, and we did turn that information over to the DEP with our NIPD's permit, saying that we would go to 11, but we actually only went to 10. So if you look at your sheet, the consumption rate in FY24 was $8.15. That was the actual rate. And fiscal year 25, they proposed that we raise it to 11%, which would have brought us up to 905. What we actually did was raise it 10%, and so our current rate is 897. They further went on for this year, asking us to approve a 12% increase, which would bring us up to $10.13. Well, if we tried to do the 12% now, we would only get up to 10.05. So if we go with 13%, we'll get to the 10.14 where we should have been. We did, however, miss out on a year of revenue. So what at that extra 1%. So what I did was I took the revenue from fiscal year 24 and I multiplied it out by the 11%. Then I took the revenue and put it out by the 10%, and the difference was 37,000, which is what we missed out on. But I think that's fine if we go with the 13% and get us at the rate we should be moving forward. And I'm not too worried about the 37,000 because last year we took the basic user rate, which is $10 a quarter or $40 annually, and we increased that $10 to $18, which brought the annual fee up to $72. That generated an additional $188,000, which easily absorbs that $37,000 loss. So I think if you stick with the 13% being proposed, bringing us up to 1014 will get us where we need to be, in keeping with what Weston and Sampson suggested.
Questions, Mr. Ryan? Thoughts?
I mean, thoughts are, as always, trying to increase rates with taxpayers is tough. So that's all just, all this money's gonna be going towards us funding the planned projects that need to be completed here.
I think if we look at the chart that Weston and Sampson had provided via email on the average sewer bill, you can see, actually, it's not even that chart, it was another chart that they presented last week. It showed all of the revenue, and it showed the breakdown. What we were trying to do was load up the retained earnings up front, and then at some point we start, that goes up, then we start spending, it levels down, and I think the gap between the two, he was looking for funding.
Okay.
Obviously we have a project being planned, so like in terms of having adequate retained revenue, having adequate operational revenue as well, we need to do this because we're ramping up. There's no question about that.
Right.
I would imagine, in FY25, part of the challenge may have existed where an environment was, created with an expectation, that the increase was only going to be 10%. And I don't actually want to get us into the same type of trap or challenge, but if we raise rates by 13% in 26, really to catch up and make up for the lost time, in the lost revenue, in FY27 we should be able to bring that increase back down to the 12% that was forecasted.
Right. So the 13% now includes an extra percentage that we didn't implement last year.
And then in 27 we would drop back down to the 12% expectation.
Right.
The 12% increase over and above where we are now.
10 to 12, yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
This 13% increase. I don't want to say it'll be a blip because we're increasing every year to ramp up. But it will be a higher than projected percentage increase, by an additional 1%, just really to catch up with the expectation, anyways, right now, that in FY27, the additional increase at that point will be 12%.
Right.
Okay.
So the difference in dollar value, it's going from $8.97 per 100 cubic feet up to $1.17 per 100 cubic feet. Up to 10.05, which is a difference of $1.17. So the increase is $1.17 to the rate.
It's actually increasing to $10.14, right?
Right, from $8.97.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, from $8.97 to $10.14.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. This isn't really a pleasant part of why we signed up for this.
Agreed.
We knew what we were in for. We knew that we had a major long time deferred project that you know, really practically speaking, is the only way to begin funding it is through the rates. Like and through the SRF, the loan, which we're in process and applying for as well. So, yeah. With that being said,
Make a motion on the board to accept the rates of 13% for fiscal year 26.
and I will step down and second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
I think being on the sewer commission is not a popularity contest.
Agreed.
Throw that right out the window.
Yeah.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, the future upcoming.
Excuse me?
Oh, sorry.
Can we put in a date for the rate increase as of
Oh.
July 1st?
Yes, yeah, I'm sorry. Like I'm like FY26. That was implied, but yes.
Okay,
Apologize.
Yeah, like effective
effective July 1.
July 1.
Yeah, I think I did say fiscal year 26.
Yes.
I think you did, you're right. I can't write that fast.
Oh, that's fine. No problem.
Thank you.
And future upcoming meetings, like we generally alluded to that at the beginning with the OPM discussion, but we will be back here like on Monday evening, the 28th of April, and so we will plan on that.
Will that be at 6 p.m. as well?
Yeah, that's okay. Like that works way easier.
Okay.
I'm not flying in here on 2 wheels.
Works for me.
Okay. Copy.
Yeah,
Is that okay with you?
that's
Okay.
That's perfect.
Perfect.
That's a half an hour.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, like, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at 6:19.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll step down and second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.